make a move and the bunny gets it.
I said, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
It's showtime.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there, everybody. One second. I don't know why this become the default. All right, there we go. Maybe not that big, but there we go. All right. Hold on one second. Let me make sure. All right. Okay, sounds good. All right. I have to check these days. There's no telling. Anyway, did get a comment a little bit earlier from my good friend Will. That's a dirty word to the mainstream. Patriotism. Yeah. Sorry about that. Patriotism is indeed a bad word to communists in particular. So the Communist Manifesto, basically, for their whole shtick to work, they essentially have to destroy national identity to create their utopia, to basically install the whole philosophy, the whole Marxist philosophy. You basically have to destroy everything before. That's why you see such a concerted effort to destroy history, tear down statues, rewrite textbooks, etc., etc. You know, we've gone over these things ad nauseum. But one thing in particular, they really hate, and that is patriotism. It's, national exceptionalism, populism. Those are the isms that they don't like. They love the socialism, they love the communism, but populism, belief in your own society, your own country, pride. Oh, they hate this. They hate that stuff. And they've set out to destroy it, and they've done a good job in America. Hail, greetings, hola, and how you doing? Hey, Wrangler. Now, this was supposed to be Monday, but Monday I was putting my housemate Craig back into the hospital. I had the whole week last week off, and during the course of the last week, we were attempting to get a doctor to see him, and we didn't want to go to the emergency room. He didn't want to go back to the emergency room, but in the end, that was the only option left to us because nobody else will see us. Nobody would talk to us. Nobody was available by phone. Everything was to voicemail. And our medical system screwed up. I mean, that's not what this show is about. But anybody that's trying to deal with the medical system will tell you right now that it's ass backwards. It's almost like the climate change cultists who want to depopulate the earth have taken over our medical industry, and now they don't try to heal any. They're not healing anybody. They're no longer in the healing business. They are in the maintaining until death business now. We encountered a very talented emergency room doctor. Two of the times that I took him to the emergency room. And one of the nurses says, "Oh, he's extremely talented. He's planning on going to do a fellowship with hospice." And it didn't occur to me till later. I was like, okay, so you got a very talented doctor, and he's decided that to progress his career, he needs to go into hospice. That pretty much sums up what's going on in our medical industry right now. Unfortunately, fortunately, actually, the reason I'm able to do this show is because earlier today, they decided to finally, he's been swelled up like a tick for like almost 2 to 3 months now, and nobody until like yesterday ever suggested drawing the fluid off. That might be a good idea, and so not only did they do that, but it gave him immediate relief. And the ladies that did it, it was like low impact. I thought it was going to have to be surgical because I was like, why would anybody like not do that unless it's like some kind of invasive procedure? Well, no, wasn't an invasive procedure. It wasn't painful for him. As a matter of fact, it gave him instant relief, and it drew off 5 liters. And the reason they didn't draw off more is because they cap it at 5 liters. And so he's been carrying around 5 liters in his abdomen, which has caused all of his problems. And this is the first time anybody suggested drawing it off. And it's just something really, really screwed up about that, I have to say. Rant over. Let's get on the subject. They probably have. Do you think they're advocating for all this affirmative care that renders so many of their patients unable to reproduce? Yeah. I've got my first cousin's wife is currently in the hospital, and she's got advanced cancer, and that's like the 3rd or 4th person recently that I've heard of, including Craig. He went from getting scans every year to and the scans not having any problems since 22 to being incurable with tumors all over his abdomen. And they did this infusion, and next thing you know, I'm rushing him to the emergency room 4:30 in the morning with blood clots in his lungs. Yeah, we just got over that and got him home, and then this other stuff. Anyway, how do they do that? I don't know. Oh, the affirming care. Yeah. He's talking about gender affirming care, where children are put on hormone blockers that basically neuter them. And they're doing it earlier and earlier. And now they're doing it without parental permission in California and probably several other states with blue. Anyway. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. I will never come back. But anyway, so when we're talking about patriotism, which is what the subject of today is, well, the latest James Gunn Superman movie that's out right now. Now, we'd heard this rumor, and I think Gunn had said it himself, but they decided to have a Superman who does not say truth, justice, and the American way, which was what Siegel and what is his name? The two Jewish young men who created Superman, they came up with that phrase, truth, justice, and the American way. And it was truth, justice, and the American way for most of his entire existence. And then suddenly they started saying truth, justice, and a better world. Because he can't just be America's superhero. He's got to be the world's superhero. Globalism. Yeah. In other words, another form of communism. But anyway, hence back to our first thing. If you disagree with California, they just take them. Yeah, they just take the kids. Yep. Gunn's brother said it too. Yeah. Gunn's brother, Sean, did kind of pop off about that. I really think some of it was taken out of context and was because it was Variety. And Variety is just, they basically live in Disney's back pocket. And Disney wants Superman to fail because they need Fantastic Four to knock it out of the park. And if Superman has legs, then Fantastic Four doesn't really have a shot at reaching $1 billion. And so I think Variety was basically setting them up. I think the questions were asked to kind of like lead them down the primrose path to saying the wrong thing. And so I've heard several people like speculate this, and I think it's more accurate than because James Gunn and Sean Gunn have to know that they're going to divide their fan base, and I don't think they're that dumb. Now, Nathan Fillion's like, it's just a movie, guys. People need a hug, which I thought was hilarious, but that's just Nathan Fillion. That's the California thing is insane. Yeah, it is. And the guy who's instituting all this his last name is Wiener. And he's behind every major, like, what in the world law that's been passed in California since he started. Scott Wiener, I think his name is. Look him up. My God. He looks like a wiener. Anyway. What if it's akin to Anthony? Probably. Anyway. Or, hold on a second. I hear that somewhere that's a mandate from DC that Superman no longer says that, although I would guess the Guns are quietly on board with it. Obviously, I can't know for sure. Oh, I'm sure they are. You don't get to be in charge of anything these days unless you're a rabid lefty, or at least hiding it very well. So, considering some of the things that the fact that James Gunn got canceled and then got uncanceled, kind of lets me know that he did something like to show them that he was going to toe the company line. I hate to be that cynical, but that's where we're left right now. Anyway, so patriotism, in American patriotism in particular. I've talked about patriotism in the past, but American patriotism is a very distinctive type of patriotism, in that we get kind of denigrated for our patriotism as somehow. All right, just read it. I'm not going to say it, but just read it anyway. All right. I think you're talking about Bryan Singer, but who knows? Who knows? Anyway. But American patriotism, I mean, we get made fun of over across the world, and it's because America, rah, 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 suspend both, kind of stuff like that. I want to get canceled is good for marketing. Strangely, no. Anyway. But we got made fun of, because of it, America thinks, America just thinks they're the best in the world, and we are. We really, really are. There's a reason why people are clamoring to get into this country and not clamoring to leave it. Even the communists that are like, I'm going to go in another country. And they're still here. They're still freaking here. I mean, come on. Stop lying to us. Stop promising to leave. And just go. Just go. All the ones that are saying they want to leave the country because they got butt hurt that they're not in charge anymore. Their political party's not in charge anymore. They keep saying, I'm going to leave this country. Just go. Just go. Don't let the door hit you on the butt. We're perfectly okay with you going. Please, by all means, feel free to leave. Anyway. So, anyway, where was I? Well, funny thing about it is when people on the more right side of things, when they're not in charge anymore, they never talk about leaving this country because they understand that there's no better country than this. And this is the last place on the planet that has the kind of freedom that we do, because we have that pesky constitution they always want to get rid of, and yet they can't. Not yet. They're trying. They've been trying, but they can't. But anyway, it comes to American patriotism. It's a very distinctive brand of patriotism. It's a unique brand of patriotism that's pretty much backed up. There's a lot of people that they're patriotic about their countries, but then they can't back it up. American back it up. We just can't. And for some reason, that means that we shouldn't be boastful that we are born with privilege or something like that. That's what it's come to me. But true justice and American way, does it still matter? I mean, is it corny? I've heard it said it's corny. That's why they don't do it anymore. And corny to who? Corny to the Midwest, like Kansas, where Superman was raised? Or was it corny to the extreme coast where all the communists gather and tell us what's cool or not? You know my answer to that. Anyway. Well, the thing about it is the extreme coasts, who used to be the trendsetters, who used to tell us what was cool or not, are extremely uncool now. I mean, they are boring. They are tacky. They are corny. They say words that are way, way, way behind the culture, where the culture has gone. And I just saw something today where people were like eschewing the portrayal of Johnny by Zendaya in the Dune series by Denis Villeneuve. And that they liked the fact that she ran off and left Paul, but hurt that he decided to marry the emperor's daughter to solidify his political position. In the books, Johnny said, well, she's never going to have any political power anyway. She's the, she's got your name, but I've got everything else. And she was totally okay with that because that was the world in which she lived. And yet this Johnny in the Dune series basically got petulant, stuck her little lip out, and then ran off and hopped onto a sandworm and went off into the desert because females rode sandworms. That's nowhere in Dune. That females were the ones to grab a sandworm. I don't remember it. I read all but 2 of the books, and I don't remember that being in there. Anyway, but that just sums it up, though, that these people are putting out these movies that have the stuff in it, and the rest of society is going, no. Let's do a Harry Potter where Severus Snape is black. If you don't like it, you're a racist. Okay, well, I'm a racist because Severus Snape is not a black man in all the materials which I've read. But because these extreme coasts think that this is the way we should think, they're going to do that. Well, one of the things this extreme coasts that are in control of everything in the mainstream, they hate American exceptionalism. They hate patriotism. They hate America. They're totally okay with living here, and they're not moving like they say they are, unfortunately, but they hate America. It's amazing how many Canadians we have here. They have that socialist utopia up there, right? Why the hell are they in America? That's an interesting question. It's Hollywood, baby. Yeah. Let's make a Snow White movie with a brown actress. What is the problem? What is the issue with making a Snow White with a actress whose skin is not Snow White? Let me think about this. What would be the issue people would have? I'll get back to you. It's right there on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't grasp it. Anyway, I'll talk to you. I'll get back to it later. All right. So American patriotism. Why is it so distinctive? It's because American can back it up. Now, when America's founding, one of my last shows I did was I talked about the King's Mountain, Battle of King's Mountain. And why it's so significant is the British Army, one of the most powerful, well-trained armies in the world that had conquered most of the known world at that time, got their butts handed to them by a bunch of hillbillies with hunting rifles, because they thought, hey, we've got the high ground. And Ferguson, the commander, said that not even God himself can take me down off this mountain. You know where Ferguson's grave is? I'll give you three guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I visited his grave. It's very nice. It's a very nice headstone. But they decided, hey, we're on the high ground. We're well organized. We got our rows all lined up. And then suddenly they started dropping out of the fog. on that hill. Yep. Well, see what the British didn't know, and all the hillbillies from that area knew, is that when you're on top of fog, looking down on fog, you can't see through fog. But when you're under the fog, looking up into the fog, you can see through fog. And, well, they were on top of the hill. The hillbillies were under the hill. And they got up in trees. And had a direct line of sight. And suddenly the British army started dropping like flies and wondering where the hell is these shots coming from. It's called Kentucky long rifles. And hold on a second. They want to call people like me prejudiced for thinking Snow White shouldn't be brown, even though I'd be more pissed if they cast a white guy to play Bishop. It's respecting the source material. Exactly. That's fogged up, yeah. Well, think about it is they got their butts kicked. Okay, because they did everything that they usually did. You know, they lined up. They they put the bayonets on and they charged down the hill and then they charged down the hill and the hillbillies just disappeared. They faded into the forest, and then the British were sitting here down at the bottom of the hill, and suddenly get shot at again. You know, and then they ran back up the hill to get back to high ground, and they got shot in the back. And so anyway, it didn't go well. Well, that was the first significant victory that America's armed forces have ever had. And it was a bunch of hillbillies with their private arms. It wasn't an organized army. It was a bunch of rural area men who used their rifles every day to feed their families. And they could shoot from about twice the distance that a typical British rifle could reach. Anyway, so then after that, suddenly George Washington changed his tactics. Now, I had an argument with somebody, that they said, well, there's rednecks all over the country, and I was like, well, those rednecks didn't show up when they were up there in Yorktown, getting their butts handed to them. Anyway, so I guess the little Southern pride there. But anyway, so from that moment on, and America kicked the British out, and then the British came back in 1812. Tried again, got their butts kicked again, and that's pretty much the last time anybody tried to invade America. Now, Admiral Yamamoto, who I think he went to Harvard, I'm pretty sure. So many of America's enemies go to our Ivy League universities. Wonder why that is. Yeah, once again, another speculation. Anyway, so he writes back to the emperor and says a physical invasion of America is just not going to be possible because they will fire at us from behind every blade of grass. And General Ferguson's kind of like, that was news I could have used. Before I sat on the top of a hill in red jackets and waited on a bunch of hillbillies. Anyway. The redcoats probably learned to back off real quick when they hear the banjos start to play. Come on now. Don't be hitting me with deliverance tropes here. I'm in a good mood. I don't want to go on that rant. Anyway, so basically, when America brags about their patriotism, they have a very significant reason to brag. They have very good evidence to back up the fact that we have a lot to be proud of. Okay. even as far down as our economy has gotten because of NAFTA, Free Atlantic Trade Agreement, sending all our jobs, overseas to China, based mostly, we still were propping up the greater part of the world's economy. We still own a very significant part. Now we finally have a president that is okay with wielding that. And so I think things are going to improve sooner than later. I was a little over my 6 months, though. Now behind many of the blades of grass that people grew up playing bullet hell games, they don't want to try. No, they do not. They do not want to try a bodily invasion of the United States. That Red Dawn movie was very unrealistic. I mean, they must have landed in a blue state. I guess Michigan, maybe the Wolverines, wherever they landed. Evidently, private citizens didn't own guns, because I know if they landed here in North Carolina, they would not make it across the field. So wherever they landed, it must be in a blue state, because So Red Dawn's always been very unrealistic to me. I'm like, where the hell did these people land? That even the high school students didn't have guns, We got freaking, we got gun racks in the parking lot, We don't have very many school shootings, amazingly. So, no, we don't have very many school shootings around here. Wonder why that is. Anyway, another sidebar. Sorry. All right. But yeah, so American patriotism is very distinctive. It's very, we have a lot to back it up. So why do people who make our fiction that represents us to the rest of the world think they've got to nerf American patriotism? So why in the world do they think we got to be ashamed of it? We've kicked the butt of every army we've come up against in our entire history. That's not speculation. That's fact. Now, some people would say that, you got your butts kicked in Vietnam. I know Vietnam vets, and they would be the first to tell you the only thing that kicked the ass of Vietnam vets was American government. Every single one of them will tell you that, except for John Kerry. Screw that guy. But anyway, but basically, we've only ever beat ourselves, because nobody else can match us in militarily. Nobody. Even Soviet Union at their heights could not match us militarily, and they knew it. Hold on a second. If they land in a blue state, then they have the street gangs of fire in them. Well, just in the cities. Only time we lost, it wasn't lost out there. It was lost by the politicians. Yep. And by the way, it wasn't a war. It was still considered a police action. So technically, we have not lost any wars. We're the only country on the planet that can brag and say that. So why? We've got one of the best economies in the world. We have the best natural resources in the world. We've got the most land, most room to grow in the world. And we happen to have some of the most exceptional people that have ever lived in America. And we're a melting pot of cultures. We used to be before every culture has to start waving their own flag. That's relatively new. Used to, people came through Ellis Island and they got into America and they were Americans. Despite what Hollywood tell you. Most people love being here. Most people love moving here. Most people prospered when they came here. But anyway, so why do they keep insisting on nerfing American patriotism? Because they hate America. That's the only answer. They hate America, and they always like my slavery, my civil rights, And it's like every single nation on the planet had slavery. Every single people group on the planet had slavery, and chattel slavery. It's and basically, once you ask why so many people in the Caribbean have light brown skin and luminous eyes, look at Rihanna. Check her family tree. Her grandfather was Irish. So why is her grandfather Irish? Because a whole bunch of Irish slaves wound up in the Caribbean. And oh, by the way, they were treated like crap. Most of them died because it wasn't like America who treated them like property. And because they treated them like property, they had better lives than most slaves on the planet. So, rights require responsibility. Yep, exactly. And we have the best foundational document of any government on the face of the planet and in world history, called the Constitution. And no matter how many times it's been abused, no matter how many times they've tried to change it, no matter how many times they've tried to destroy it, the Constitution, the last 4 years, if the Constitution was going to fall, it would have failed the last 4 years. When somebody was in control of our country, we still have yet to ascertain who that was. I have my thoughts about who was in control of our country the last 4 years. Yeah. I have my thoughts. Anyway. So, but basically, so American patriotism is not a bad word. It's representing a pretty good country. And a country that is just getting better now that we have that whole pesky, executive branch kind of straightened out. We still got to work on Congress. My God, we got to work on Congress. And the judge thing seems to have worked its way out. That seems to be ending the judicial overreach. And so things seem to be pointing up. So it's just a good time for a little bit of patriotism. Now, on July the 4th, after working my butt off for about a week, compiling stuff, getting stuff lettered, getting things together, I created a PDF. The PDF is in the description if you want to check it out. It's free. And it's for the campaign. My campaign's going long. It's gone about 2 years. When I just had 1 year to delivery, and everything happened in the meantime. George Psoriasis. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Anyway. Flaky George. I have no idea what you're talking about there. Anyway. All right. So, I do have a PDF. That's the link is in the chat down there. And it's a preview of the first 13 pages of my comic. It also has 3 pages that are in the last part of the comic that are currently in production. And I have 3 pieces of art that no one's ever seen that are going to be included with the book. And I was going to put some short stories in, but I didn't finish the short story I wanted to do in time. I've been dealing with my dear or best friend and housemate's physical problems, and I just ran out of time. But let me show you. Now, this first image, the cover I put on my PDF has a very significant reason for it. And the reason is I was trying, I was like stuck on my book. One of the reasons it's really late is I was stuck. The back half of the book needed a direction, and I lost my editor, Normie, wherever you are. I hope you're still alive. But my editor disappeared, and I kind of lost my direction. I kind of lost my focus. And suddenly, one moment in time, one action by a certain individual broke me out of it. And I started understanding what my book, back half of my book, needed to be. And it completely unbroke my log jam and got me on the right direction. And so I had an artist, Nathan Rosario from Stump fame. Stump is one of my favorite books. And having Nathan Rosario do a piece for me was just awesome. And then I had Mika from Barbusco Comics, who did all the coloring that you're about to see. I had her color it, and I did a little bit of digital work on it myself to get it where I wanted it. And let me show you. So when you open the PDF, you get to see this. Right there. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I can get this a little bigger. Yeah. All right. So that image right there, that is by Nathan Rosario and Mika, Barbusco Comics. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, Patriots do rule. They really do. But so this is the cover to my PDF. I'm looking into making this a physical copy. I'm going to add a tier to my campaign to make this a physical copy if you want one. But this was I was helped by my friend Jared. What is his last name? Frost Comics, basically, and he helped me assemble this, and I did kind of the PDF work myself. I didn't do too bad, but I did do a lot of the work myself. Brickley. Sorry, Brickley. See, he goes by J.K. Trotter everywhere else. J.K. Trolling. And I just, yeah, happy to help. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he helped me a lot to get the community service put right there. And then have the fist in front of it. That was kind of a late addition. He did that for me. Just amazing, amazing work there. And thank you for Trump for standing up with blood rolling down your face, thinking that you had other shooters, but you just could not let them think they won. And you gave me that moment. You gave me that image, and it broke me free of my block, and the rest of the comic's going to have a direction because of it. So that's why I made it my cover image. Now, so this is a message to my backers. This is not the book. The book is late at this point, 2 years late. We are mere pages away from pre-press, but I wanted you to have something in your hands to show we're still in production. This is a promissory note. In this Ashcan, you'll receive the first 13 pages of the book. You'll receive an 8-page comic that is of the original Ghost Rider, Rex Blaze, written for the Out of Obscurity project to be printed later this year. You will see it here first. Actually, the Out of Obscurity project is going to have a digital in people's hands by the 18th of this month, according to Luke Stone. And he is going to have it printed before too many more months are out. But that covers the Fight, Fight, Fight cover. pencils by Nathan Rosario. Like I said, Mika. Assembly by J.K. Brickley. Okay, there you go. I did get the name right. Now, the preambles Ashcan, what you're about to see, the 13 pages. That's I wrote it, Ed and Mika, and then Paul from AGE did the lettering. So if you want to, not going to read the whole thing to you, but I just want to cycle through and show you what's in the PDF. He did a real good job with this lettering. He really did. My man! Like this dude. Didn't even ask for credit. I'll go give credit where credit is due, dude. I'm just going to do it. That's just me. But, yeah, this is Mr. McGuffin. He is going to be your guide through the rest of this Ashcan. This is talking about the Ironsides, talking about the Freedom 5, the day the heroes died. That is when he was ambushed and everything changed. Now, this is him quitting his job, one of my favorite moments, Ashcan. This is kind of like a walk through the world, telling you how the thing works. And then he says goodbye. You will see him again. Now, this cover page didn't turn out as well as I like. I'm probably going to have to go back and redo this. But this was by a guy named Mark Oliver. He's also from Brazil. He did the pencils. He stepped in when an individual who I was waiting on for 6 months just decided to stop. You know, not only did he stop sending me pages, but he sent me scans of pages. Didn't send me actual pages, and then he disappears. So I asked Mark to help me out, and he came in late. But this is that comic. It's going to be an out of obscurity. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to, you'll just have to read it there. But it's definitely one of my favorites. Anyway. All right. Now here are the preview pages from the upcoming rest of the book. Coming soon. Now this is about 3 pages. But if anything, Ed and Mika are getting even better back half of the book. Basically, the back half of the book is going to be the story from the perspective of Lieutenant Sidewinder, who's part of the Freedom 5, who betrayed everybody and went into the FERA. But did he betray everybody? That's the question. But these are 3 pages that are going to be in the back side of the book. You'll have to get the book to know what this means. Now, there's a bonus art for that nobody has ever seen. The first one was from Elliot Rodriguez, my good friend. He's got Ominous out right now. Check it out. I did some writing, helped with that. But Mika and did the colors, of course. Deadeye 1 and 2. Stefani Renee. It's not even the finish. Stefani Renee just disappeared. Disappeared on everybody. Left a lot of people high and dry. But he did send me a detailed, not a detailed scan, but a scan of the page that he was doing for me. And we couldn't do a really good job, but I insisted on using that piece. And so that's I had Mika do the best she could coloring it. But Bloody Rose and Chevelle. Bloody Rose Annie and Chevelle. This is Ed and Mika entirely. Let me show you. This first one is Ironsides punches a tank. That is Elliot Rodriguez colors. All right, not colors, but inks, and that is Mika from Barbusco's colors. That's just so cool. Yeah, that fist is so it's called the glass arm, but it's like an impenetrable impregnable crystal, and so much so he could plug he's got such a density to him that he can plug the barrel of a tank with that fist, and the tank's gonna get the worst of it. That's what the whole thing was. Anyway, this is the Stefani Rene. Man, I wish I could get the finished scans of this, but he is unavailable wherever he is. Maybe we'll see Thomas Moria one of these days. I backed that book twice. I may never see the money, but it is what it is. But this is Deadeye 1 and 2, kind of doing a shootout together. But it's kind of an impossibility, but it's pretty cool. And this is the other two that are intertwined. This is the ghost of Bloody Rosanne McGree and the young girl who she haunts, Chevelle Duvalier. And I like the fact Chevelle's not very happy, and Bloody Rosanne is kind of a difficult person to have in your head. So she's kind of bloodthirsty. But anyway, but that is a real cool piece that I plan on having in the book somewhere. But that's coming up. So anyway, that is the Ashcan. That so that is the Ashcan that I am offering for free. The link is in the description below. And further down in the description, you can find the link to the comic campaign. It is still open. If you decide that you like what you see and you want to back the book. I'm going to push this more when I'm not running to the hospital every single day. So, which is what I'm going to do shortly. But anyway, it's my pleasure to do so. He's my best friend, and he's not heavy. He's my brother, you know. But it is what it is. Just one of those seasons of life right now. But why? American patriotism needs to come back. We got nothing to be ashamed of. We got nothing to apologize for. Every country has dark times in their history where people were less than kind to one another. Every single country on this planet. Even the communist ones. Especially the communist ones. They have a lot higher body count than America does. A lot higher. Look it up. Anyway. So this is me saying, if you need permission to put patriotism in your comics, consider this your permission. We need more patriotism in comics. And I don't talk about the deconstructed patriotism you're seeing all like with the boys and things like that. I'm talking about actual true blue, true justice in the American way. We need it back. We need to put it back in comics. We need to put it back in our movies. We need good old-fashioned patriotic movies. We need to be corny. We need to be uncool. As a matter of fact, patriotism is cool these days. Have you noticed? Patriotism's kind of cool now. It never stopped being cool, but because we let our tastemakers in what essentially are socialist states probably communist, more closer to communism. In New York and LA, I'm not saying all of California, but definitely LA, tell us that patriotism's not cool anymore. What's cool is burning the flag. What is cool is kneeling when the Star Spangled Banner came up. And, let's talk about our anthem is about people taking shots at us, and then at the end of the day, we're still here. That's our national anthem. You can shoot at us all night long. You can take us down as far as we can go, and we're still going to be waving. That's why Star Spangled Banner is the best national anthem. One of the hardest to sing because America, but the best national anthem. I don't put up against anybody. Now, I know it was a drinking song once upon a time, but it's still the best. And it still separates the middling talents from the truly blessed. It's like Star Spangled Banner. Anytime somebody starts singing it, you're like, it's either going to be awesome or it's going to be a disaster. Actually, I saw one that the Royals, I can't remember the name. It's a bluegrass band. And the four brothers did a version of the Star Spangled Banner, kind of barbershop style. And it made every hair in my body raise up. I mean, it was spectacular. Look it up. I can't remember their names, though. Starts with a C. Anyway, look it up. Star Spangled Banner. Kansas City Royals game. It'll pop right up. It was really going around heavy last week during the 4th. But essentially, it's the 4th of July. We just went through it. America's back and never left. And truth, justice, and the American way. Screw you, James Gunn. Truth, justice, the American way. Screw you, Warner Brothers. Screw you, DC. It's always going to be truth, justice, and the American way. And there's nothing you can do about it. They just, you can, kick it out from going further, from here on out. But everybody's going to remember early Superman is truth, justice, and the American way. It just is. And that's all right. As long as I got Christopher Reeve movies to watch, I don't need to pay attention to anything that's coming out now. Like Man of Steel. Yuck. Anyway, I like him. I love Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's just the beast. Just an awesome guy. But Man of Steel sucked. It really did. It just did. Anyway, but I might see this James Gunn movie. I might sell the 7 C's. But I don't think I'll be seeing it in the theater. I just don't. Because leaving out truth, justice, and the American way it's a deal breaker for me. I'm probably not going to see Fantastic Four either, Disney, because the Silver Surfer is Norrin Rad. And he's a dude. I don't know who that chick is. Like 4 pages in her comic book history. And Norrin Rad's got 12 series or something like that. And you chose to go with a chick that was in 4 pages of a comic that nobody even remembers. That's who you chose over Norrin Rad. The Silver frickin' Surfer. I'm not seeing your damn movie. Pedro Pascal? Hell no. I have a fixed aversion to Pedro Pascal. He makes me sick. Just don't like that dude at all. I'm allergic to soy. So probably not going to see that either. Anyway. Besides, the Invisible Woman is not the leader of Fantastic Four. It's Reed Richards. It just is. Sorry, it just is. Anyway, and Snow White should be white. This is not brain surgery, guys. It's not brain surgery. Anyway, so now that I've ticked off everybody and showed myself to be the most racist and misogynist monster who's ever lived in this, maybe get my channel taken down. I don't know. Who knows what it takes to take a channel down these days on YouTube. I never tell anybody. So maybe I'll be here tomorrow, maybe I won't. But if you hear nothing from me but this, there's nothing wrong with American patriotism in comics. Put it back. Put it back. Anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for my guys in my chat. I had Wrangler, I had Aaron, Force Main, Frost Comics, Mr. J.K. Brickley, and Will from Creators Outlet. My usual suspects, basically. Thank you all for coming in and keeping me company. Now I got a hospital to get back to. I like Ike. I forgot I like Ike. Yeah. Calling you out, buddy. Thank you for coming. But yeah, I need to go and check in with my friend. And go to my dead-end job tomorrow to pay for all this. And we will see you next time I stream. Don't know when that'll be. I'm hoping Saturday. But we'll find out. Anyway, that's been Cooper Telepathic Bunny Comics. Follow the White Rabbit. And we'll see you next time. Night, everybody.